0, 1. Let's get started.
Up. We're on. Yeah, it's recording.
It's on. We're live.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm just gonna plunge this fucking coffee.
Need one of those desperately.
Yeah. It makes sense, but hey, with the plunge, how it only goes to halfway. Like when you actually think about it properly.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want the water to still go through. Yes, if you squash it down,
Yeah.
it's not going to...
Apparently it pours smoother. Learn it on the internet.
Yeah, right. Did you Google it?
Nah. Who told me? I think it was Cougar.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck with.
Probably something he Googled.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty frothing off coffee, but
Yeah.
how good does that make you feel about that morning? Bit of a run, bit of a ice bar. Straight, you know.
Man, that's the way to go.
100%.
Get the brain and the body pumping.
100%. We'll just start with that, eh?
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Do you want some of this shit?
Nah, I was taking black.
Black. Just like your heart.
Liquid gold, mate.
It's good, eh?
That's what I'm talking about.
It's good, eh?
Gonna warm up the body.
Alright.
Yeah, the ice bath kicks say.
4 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about to change, but 4 degrees is good. I was saying before, when you do a couple at 4 degrees and then you go to like a recovery centre that has, normally they're about 8 to 10, it doesn't feel hard anymore.
Yeah.
It feels nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's enough of a challenge.
Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to that one and it was, brutal when it first started. But nothing compared to that now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shocks the brain, shocks the body.
Yeah. So, back on the wagon, mate. Back on the fitness train.
Yep.
Training at rhythm.
Yep. Thank God.
Back running.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Back lifting.
Are ya?
Yeah.
You're just saying at a CrossFit gym.
Yeah. Yeah, just in Coolly Active. It's fucking really good, man. It's really cool. It's a really good community. And the coach is so funny, eh? He's real motivating to pump you up.
Yeah. Who's the coach? Active?
His name's Joe.
Okay.
I believe it's Joe. Yeah. Good dude. Solid dude. I think he's ex-football player.
Yeah.
So he just gets into it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, Active is a good gym, hey. They've got a few on the coast now.
Yeah. Well, Burley's their main one.
Yeah.
And then they've got a few on the coast. Apparently they've got one in Sydney or Melbourne. It's like they're branching out.
Yeah, it's a full chain.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good. I like those gyms.
Yeah, man.
All right, so let's go. Straight back to the start. So you started jiu-jitsu straight out of school, hey?
No. Not out of school. I graduated 2012 and then, just messed around for a few years doing the classic 18-year-old, whatever, partying, drinking, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, because you were working away, hey?
Yeah. I went to Western Australia.
That's right.
After a few years, just to do something different. And then, went to a little town in...
What were you doing in Western Australia?
Man, my first job when I got there was at Subway, just to start working. That was exactly how you imagine. It's pretty terrible.
Oh, so you didn't go there for a career, you just moved there?
Just moved there. Yeah, I had a mate from school that moved over there.
Yeah.
His family.
Yeah.
And didn't know what I was doing with myself, so I was like, all right, I'm going to move over there, do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, just started working in Subway. Then after I quit there, I worked in a few labouring jobs, which was brutal in 40-degree heat.
Whereabouts in WA? Where?
Karratha.
Up north?
Yeah,
cool.
Kind of in line with Brisbane, I think, or a bit higher.
Okay. And that's where the mines are?
Yeah, there's a bunch of mines. Like, Karratha's a little... It's like it's called a mining town, but it's like where everyone kind of mainly lives, and then there's a bunch of actual mining towns just out of there that everyone, the FIFOs go to. Yeah. And then Karratha's right next to Port Dampier, which is where they just ship everything out from WA. It's huge.
Right. So, yeah. Was there a reason you moved there?
Well, just to get away from the scene I was in. I wasn't doing anything too crazy, but I was just going out to mostly Brisbane, but going out there partying and drinking and doing other substances.
It's just a young person scene.
Yeah.
It can be a bit of a vortex, but just really spiral you downhill.
100%.
Did you have anyone in your life that sort of told you that you should seek to get out of what you're doing, or were you any guidance, or were you just...
Well, besides mum, of course, mum's always main motivator. She was, always trying to tell me to do stuff, go to uni, go to study something, or go work in the mines or something. And but I don't know, I was just never motivated to do anything other than play video games and smoke pot.
Yeah, and for yourself, it was just making you feel bad. You just weren't feeling good about yourself.
Yeah,
is that kind of what was going on?
Yeah, you pretty much. Like, I think the truth of it was I actually ended up smoking DMT once without knowing what it was, and then that just kind of shifted my mindset a lot.
Was that, like, obviously there's people that go and seek out DMT and do the rituals and with the shamans and do the whole 9 yards with that sort of side of experience in DMT, but you didn't know?
No idea. Everyone was just like,
how'd that go?
Well, everyone was like, it's kind of just like a short acid trip. And I was like, oh, I've done acid. I'm always down for a drink.
When they gave you it, did they tell you it was DMT?
Yes, I knew it. Yeah, but I didn't know what DMT was.
Okay.
Like, oh, this is this drug, DMT. It's kind of like acid, but shorter, a bit more intense. And I was like, oh, that'll be fine.
And how old were you at this time?
It was like 2014. So like probably 20, 21. Yeah. It was a good time of my life to do it at that age, I think.
Yeah, sorry, go on with the experience.
Yeah, well, it just completely rocked my world. Like, I had it, and then, they say, everyone talks about DMT as the ego death trip. Pretty much what I felt. Like, I smoked it in, and I breathed it out, and then I felt like I just kind of died there. I had a pretty intense trip.
But died, but you were conscious.
Yeah. Like, I felt like I breathed my whole life out of my breath as I fell back, and then I kind of went into my own head tripping.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It was like, I can't even remember much of it now. I just remember kind of.
Was it really vivid?
Super vivid, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was one girl there that had done it before, so she's like, "Oh, try and close your eyes and break through." And I was like,
good advice.
So I tried, and it's very intense. Just saw some really weird visuals, and felt like I was falling down like a Looney Tunes tunnel. If that makes any sense. I just felt like I was falling down there. All this random stuff popped up, and then it wasn't like I had saw some stuff that changed my life, but when I came out of it, I remember I got the train home after that, and I was just thinking, I was like, what was that? And then I started to Google it on my phone, and then I got home and spoke to my brothers about it, and then kind of just went down a research rabbit hole on what that was, and then I was like, oh, apparently, your ego died, and I was like, what's an ego? And then it's like, oh, what is a human? And I was like, what am I? And then, I just started learning about everything.
Yeah, and I've never done DMT, so I'm just interested. I've heard multiple people who have done it and multiple stories and listened to it, and I've researched into it a bit. Not opposed to doing it, I've just never done it. So, was your trip, would you say, was it a bad trip, or was it positive?
My trip was positive, for sure.
I think if it's negative, from what I hear, is that means you have a bigger ego. Yeah, it's harder to let your ego go.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like the demons are, attacking you, trying to tell you to come in, and you're resisting it.
I believe that 100%. Yeah. Because I'm a more on the quiet end of a person, and especially back then. So I guess I didn't have much of an ego, and it wasn't, that crazy. I believe that for sure. Because I was with some people that had a bit of a crazy trip.
Yeah.
Like they said they saw, shadow figures over them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't see any of that. I just had a good time.
Yeah, I've got a pretty close friend who's had he must have a big ego because he had a really bad one. And he's like, it just felt like I was in hell. He's like for eternity. And then once he accepted it and was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is where I am forever now. Like, it's just this is just it. And then he said that it sort of became like beautiful, and it all opened up, and then he started feeling love and all this gratitude and that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's what it's all about, just letting go. Just be like, oh, I'm not in control of this anymore, and having a good time.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I went into it, so I don't think I hit that resistance at all.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just want to see some cool stuff and see what it's all
go
about.
into it with an open mind.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did a proper ritual with some shamans now, I'm sure that that would probably guide you through that. Anyway, DMT aside.
But it was really cool, man. Like it changed my mind, and then I started like really thinking about myself, not in like a selfish way, but I was like, oh, who am I? What am I doing with my life? And it took me a little while. It took me like a year or two before I was like, I stopped partying as much. I still didn't know what to do. My mate moved over to WA, and it was like, oh man, come over, let's get a fresh start. And I was like, all right, I'll do that. And it was really cool. I did a lot of traveling and saw a lot of cool stuff, but still didn't fully break out of that mold. Like I was still playing video games, smoking more. Wasn't drinking as much, but I started putting on weight. That was when I really started getting heavy.
Was you getting the munchies all the time?
Getting the munchies all the time, man.
Yeah.
It's like on the weekends when I wasn't working, it'd be like wake up at whatever time.
Keep going.
It's like midday. I'd wake up, smoke a joint, order McDonald's, some delivery. Go and play some games of League of Legends. Halfway through the day, smoke another joint, order Subway, just like that all day. Smoke, order food, burning through money.
Yeah.
Burning through my life.
Working.
Yeah. That was like when I was doing random jobs. Yeah. It was the whole time, really. But whenever I had a day off or whatever, I would just get into it, get the job done, and go home.
Just like you wouldn't have a hobby on the side of working to do. You just, and it's pretty common these days. Like there's a lot of people that do that still. Like I think there's a lot more people that do that these days, probably especially since COVID and that. But there's also, it's kind of gone each way. There's a lot more people that are active and fit and healthy and aspiring to do things, and there's a lot of good in the community as well. But I think there's a lot of that happening as well.
Yeah,
like the unmotivated, don't want to do anything else but sit at home, do nothing, smoke weed. Yeah. Anyway, so that happened.
Yeah.
How long were you in WA for?
About a year and a half over there. Yeah, about a year and a half. From 22 to 23 and a half, I guess. I can't even, because I think I just celebrated my birthday when I got there.
Yeah. And then what made you move back?
Me and my mate did a road trip.
Yep.
We went from Karratha all the way down to like Perth, Esperance, Mulmugger River, and then cut across Melbourne and then back up.
Yep.
And I remember, that was the coolest trip I've ever done. Got to see so much cool stuff, had so much fun.
WA is beautiful. Hey?
Oh, my favourite place by far. But the thing was, like, I couldn't really enjoy myself because I was like, I want to take a photo in this cool place. And I saw the photo, I was like, oh, that, and I want to post that.
Yeah, self-conscious.
Yeah, and, I couldn't, like, they're meeting all sorts of cool people over there, and I couldn't engage too much because I was, so self-conscious. And that was what it really was. I was like, I can't enjoy myself because I don't enjoy myself.
Yeah. And you were realising that? Or you... Yeah, okay.
I was realising, like, in real time.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go, talk to that girl, but why is she going to talk to me?
Why would she talk to me?
Yeah, I'm not interesting.
It's a hard place to be, especially at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird, man. It was a really weird experience. And, I got back to the Gold Coast, and I got back, I think it was like at the start of the year. And it was, like summer, going into autumn, really nice time of the year. And I was like, man, what am I doing in this town where it's like 40 degrees in winter? And I could be here, like on the beach, being healthy, living with my family.
The lifestyle is very inviting on the Gold Coast.
It's incredible, man. It's so hard to move away from this place.
Yeah. I mean, that's why so many people are moving here now. It's so populated because of that.
Yeah.
It's because you feel better when you're in a good weather.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it is contagious, that lifestyle of being fit and healthy and active, and
it's big on the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
everyone loves it.
Yeah.
And then so actually I went back to WA after that for a bit, and then I eventually moved back after a couple months, and I came back, and I had a mate who is like, he's a stuntman. He was doing stunts in Universal Studios, and him and his brother and his father were all in it. So they were like, "Oh man, come audition for this. You need to be fit, obviously." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds amazing." So I'm going to start getting fit.
Yep.
And my brother was like studying personal training at that time, Joel. So it was like a mix of like, he was motivating, I was motivated to do this. I always wanted to get healthy and look good. Started exercising, and then that's when Joel started training jiu-jitsu. He was working at Phil Bakehouse right across from the gym. Fabio went in there, spoke to him. Joel went and trained, and then Joel hit me up. I was like, "Man, come do jiu-jitsu." And I love it. It's like when we would roll together when we were kids. It's having a scrap. And I was like, "All right, I'll try anything. Trying to get fit sounds like a good way." So I went in there, and the
rest is history.
The rest is history.
It's funny how that, hey, like when you're growing up, if you got a brother or cousin or close friend or whatever that you have regular wrestles with, you always felt better after those wrestles. It releases all those endorphins, and
100%.
like you don't think about it at the time.
Yeah.
But then that's sort of what you can relate back to once you start pursuing something like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then because obviously it became a massive part of your life pretty quick. But how long did it take you to pretty much just be going every day and like being engulfed in it?
I'd say like 3 months. After the third month, well, 6 months. So like after 6 months, I'd went from like 120 kilos when I got back, and then I got down to like 80, 81.
In 6 months,
6
you lost 40 kilos.
Yeah, man.
Were you eating?
Yeah, I jumped on the primal diet. That was like a big one. I think like
the primal, like the Mark Sisson.
Yeah. And what's his book called?
Yeah, Primal. He's got a couple. He's got the Primal Endurance. I've read that.
Yeah,
that's a good one. And the
Primal Blueprint.
Primal Blueprint. Yeah, that's it. I've read that too.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah,
I started that, but
it's wild. It's a bit of a read, but he's pretty switched on dude. And I saw him on Joe Rogan. That's how I started doing it, and then got his books, and I got on that a bit. It's pretty good. It
was really good, man.
It's just Whole Foods.
Yeah,
that's basically essentially
not eating crap.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, that was incredible, and I was like super motivated to do it, so it was easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, did you notice like immediately after doing some training how much better you felt? Like, was that pretty instant?
Yeah, straight away, man.
Yeah,
straight away, everything felt good. I was like never sore.
It's so crazy with that, man, because it's like all these doctors prescribing all these antidepressants to especially young people that are about that age, 20, mid-20s. Antidepressants, like they're getting prescribed all this crazy shit. And it's like, mate, just go train a bit. Like, you don't have to do jiu-jitsu. You can do whatever you want. Go for a walk. Like,
that's
it's free.
It's amazing. Out in nature, you'll see people.
It's so crazy.
Interact with people.
And there's so many stories like that too, of people about that age who start doing a sport or training or whatever they're doing. And it's like, they all of a sudden feel better. They're all of a sudden like healed.
Yeah. Life opens up for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So were you working here at that time when you started jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, what did I do when I got back? I was working at there was a kite repair, like a kite surfing repair shop in Tweed.
Yep.
And I started working there. It was a cool job. I met some cool people. I just didn't get along with the boss, unfortunately. And so I did that for a couple months, and then And then I actually started working at Subway again. Yep, in Cooley and Chugan. So that was perfect. I would work there, and that was about 6 months in to training, and that's kind of when Fabio was like, "Do you want to start teaching the kids here, or do you want to clean the gym for a bit of money?" So it ended up being like, working some hours at Subway, and then 6 months into training, I was already doing some work at gym.
Yeah,
which was amazing. It's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, and that's the lifestyle you wanted to be engulfed in, and that was probably your first ever real passion.
Yeah.
So it's like 100%. That's what you want to pursue. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the other shit like Subway. Like,
man, nothing was interesting.
Yeah.
No job I've ever done has interested me.
Yeah.
Obviously, who's interested in Subway?
I mean,
no offense to that, but
that's what you always get told. Hey, just pursue your passions.
Yeah.
And then, how long after that did you? Because when we met, you weren't really doing any other jobs. You were just mainly working at the gym.
Yeah. Well, when COVID hit,
that's when you stopped doing the other work.
Yeah. Yeah, because Subway closed and Jiu-Jitsu closed too.
You were getting government subsidies and all that stuff.
Yeah. So that carried me through to when the gym opened up again.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point everything was.
And by then you were a blue belt. That was.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I saw you get your purple belt. Also. So you get purple belt.
Yeah, I got my blue belt just before, or maybe a little bit before COVID. Yeah.
And then so you were. That's also what I wanted to talk about was the competition side of things. Was that something that you really wanted to do straight away, or was that something that took because of where you were coming from, like the depressed state and all that? How long did it take you to work up the amount of courage you needed to go and?
6 months.
That was it.
Yeah. That was like the 6 months was like the biggest.
Yeah, that's normally the case. Hey, with people who start jiu-jitsu, it's like 3 to 6 months. Of getting beat up, learning basics, not knowing anything. It takes about 6 months. Hey.
Yeah.
And most people are all the same. It's about that 6 month mark when they're like stuff is starting to click.
Yeah.
Starting to be able to link certain things together and get out of certain positions and 100%. Get a little bit more confidence in themselves,
Yeah. Even if everything's, scattered, like all your positions and techniques are scattered.
Still scattered today.
But, yeah. But you can see them, you just can't string them together.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 6 month mark, I can't remember how it happened, but I think everyone was like, "Oh, let's go to this comp, we'll send a bit of a team in."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "All right, I'll do it." I'm loving jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I've always been competitive, youngest of 3 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Played video games, which is, ultimately competitive.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm going to try this out. And went into it. And I submitted the first guy with an armbar.
How nervous were you before the first match?
Very nervous. Yeah. I get very nervous, so.
It's the most nervous I've ever been. I've done a lot of competitions in my life. But that was jiu-jitsu, my first jiu-jitsu comp. Most nervous I've ever been before anything. It was like I was going into a fight. That's how it felt.
Pretty much.
I'm like...
Yeah, I mean, everyone, shits on it and says it's not a fight. It's not a fight, but you are trying to either kill your opponent with choking or to seriously injure them by breaking their bone.
A limb, yeah.
Yeah, like that's the ultimate goal of the sport. So it's not a fight technically, but it is to the death.
It's just a fight with no strikes.
Yeah.
And in a lot of fights in the street or professional or otherwise, the grappler normally wins. The majority of the time. And if you can both grapple as good as each other, it's whoever's better striker.
Yeah.
But majority of the time, the better grappler will win.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev just won again against Dustin Poirier. Dustin is a black belt, he's a weapon. Islam's slightly better grappling.
Yeah.
It was a really close fight. Grappler won. Like cool. It's like the highest level,
Yeah, man. Yeah, Khabib too, same thing.
Yeah,
the best. One of the best.
Yeah. So after that initial comp, how'd you end up going to that comp?
Yeah, I got gold I only competed in the gi in my weight, first comp. So I was like, I'll just do one, have a couple of fights. Yeah, I submitted the first guy with an armbar. Yeah, been chasing that high ever since.
Yeah.
That's all I really
You
remember.
never quite get it, hey?
Yeah, no, never. I think I just won the other fights by points and stuff. I don't really remember because I just focused on that first one. That's all that.
Yeah, it's all that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the gold on that one, and it was cool. I went, back to the gym the next day or whatever, and Fabio wanted to do like an advertisement for the gym, so he ended up using me as like an example. Like, start jiu-jitsu, if you're unhealthy or you don't know what you're doing, you might look like this, and add the picture of me fat, and then you'll end up looking like this. And it was me, thin, gold medal on the podium. And that was really cool, man. That was like, after that, it just boosted my confidence and probably my ego a little bit.
It's okay. You did another DMT trip.
yeah. Check myself again.
Yeah.
And that was when everything started kicking off. Like, I felt like I was really a part of the gym and a part of the community and part of the sport of jiu-jitsu, and then just kept on spiraling from there.
Yeah, and because you did a lot of competing after that, hey?
So I did as much as I could.
Yeah. How many a year do you reckon you were hitting? How many competitions?
Roughly. In the early days, like, I never really went and travelled to compete. It was all low back on. Yeah, like the Byron Bay ones. It was probably, I'd say, like average 6 comps a year. Yeah. I went out to a couple of Sunny Coast too. That was cool.
Yeah, and this is kind of the way I think about competition in jiu-jitsu, because I've competed at high levels and other things in life. But I think jiu-jitsu, I don't know if I want to be at the highest level, but I think you need to compete in order to know where you're at.
Yeah.
Because the goal is to have constant progression, yeah. I think competition is the only way you can truly gauge where you're at and if you're progressing or not with the things that you're doing. Is that how you were looking at it, or were you looking at it?
Yeah. Well, definitely at the start, I was like, I want to be a professional grappler and competitor and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to keep competing so I can get better at competing. Not necessarily at jiu-jitsu, but getting better at competing.
Yeah.
And then, like pretty quickly I realized, I'm not going to be the best.
It's just hard when you start at that age.
Yeah.
It's coming from a sport where I've done it since a young age. I've done sports from a young age. I understand the benefits in that.
Yeah.
Like
starting early.
Yeah. And the movement patterns that your body gets used to and adapts to when you're that age, you can't adapt to it as good as you can at a young age if you start it at like mid-20s.
Yeah.
You can definitely get really good at stuff. Like, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's just very hard.
Yeah. But I got humbled by I think it was like 17-year-old blue belt. He went into the comp and I was just like shocked at how quick and strong he was. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is levels. This is not for me. Yeah. Like, not, I don't want to be the best. I love training. I still love competing. I love the sport, but I don't want to be.
You want to be your best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well said. I want to be my best.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why jiu-jitsu is getting so popular and is so good, because that's the main idea behind it. This is teaching you to be your best, not just jiu-jitsu, but the best version of yourself.
Yeah,
because it teaches you to learn things properly, to assess yourself in a realistic way.
Yeah, but from everything too, like I realize that every time you're training, it's like, all right, I'm trying to get better technically, but then it's like I'm also like I'm trying to get fitter, I'm trying to get more flexible, I'm trying to be able to control my mind under stress. I'm trying to control my energy levels, like know when to conserve it. But it's everything comes from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and that's why, like, for me personally, as well as you probably, that's why you start to go and pursue the fitness endeavors you pursue outside of jiu-jitsu. It's all just to be fit, just so you know that you're fit when push comes to shove on the mats, or when if there's a comp coming up in a couple of weeks, you're not trying to get fit for that comp. You're already at a baseline fitness. It's I mean, overall, it creates a fit, and healthy lifestyle, and that's what you want. How you want to live. Yeah, and it's a great way to live and have longevity and be a role model within the community and all that shit.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. And it's super corny too, but it's like, I want to be fit and stay healthy from, my family and my kids and stuff. It's not corny, but it is kind of.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, lead by example. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, I got an interesting story, actually. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was with my missus at the beach, and there was a couple of, like, younger kids just swimming, at the alley, like, between the rock wall and, like, the alley.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that sandbank just kind of drops off.
Yep.
And so the kids were playing, like, right on the edge there. And then my missus is whenever there's kids around, she's always just kind of like, oh, and there's no parents. She's always like, oh, is this kid safe? And whatever. And, I was just splashing around in the water, and she realized that the kids started drifting out a little bit. And then so she started working her way over there and was like calling me. I turn around and I see the kid's mum running down. She jumps in the water and starts to like help. There's like 3 or 4 kids. So she loses her balance as well. So she starts falling under the water and like pushing the kids up. So I'm like running over there. And then I see the dad, and he's just a big guy, like really heavy. He runs to the edge of the water. He like twists his leg, falls in the water, and then starts like drifting out.
Oh no.
So I'm watching like these kids go under, the wife go under. So I start running over there, and I think there was another guy ran in, and we all just like grabbed the kids and the wife and pulled them out. And the dad's just like drifting down the water. I was like,
lifeguards there?
But they're so far away, So they end up getting down there, making sure everyone's all right. But like I just saw that dad, and I was like, dude,
you don't want to be that.
Don't want to be that.
Yeah, I've always, I agree. I've always looked at that sort of those images and been like, no, that's not what I want. And one of the biggest pet peeves for me is, since I was a kid, I remember getting annoyed at older men saying, "I'm getting old." Like I'm getting old. That's why I'm the way I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's bullshit. Like I was young and I didn't know, but like I'm not old yet, but I'm like 30. I'm like, people when I was young that were 30 were saying they're getting old, and that's why they're drinking more and getting more unfit. And I was watching that happen.
Yeah.
And I was observing it as a young age, and I fully remember getting annoyed at people saying that. And now I'm still the same. I'm like, I don't want to be like that. Oh, I'm getting old. I have poor me.
Yeah.
It's just a part of it, mate.
Yeah.
You just gotta.
You can fix it.
You gotta rise up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can change it easy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not accepting it, eh?
That's like you're gonna get old, and that comes with certain things. Like, but you just have to adapt to them.
Yeah.
And you can still live a very healthy life and be nimble. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like agile.
Yeah. Athletic.
Yep.
To a very old age. You're seeing it today, like in this, new age is like there's people like 50, 60-year-olds that are still doing it.
Yeah.
Like they're not as capable as the 20-year-old, but they're still more capable than the majority of people in society. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why can't you be like that?
Yeah.
I just, that's for me one of those people saying that sort of shit. Just that's the thing that ticks me.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
Yeah, man. It's hard, right? Like it's so much easier to sit on the couch and drink a beer and do whatever.
Yeah, it's
like,
yeah, it is. It's hard to dig yourself out of that hole. I understand that. Like it's super hard to dig yourself out of that hole. But it's like, if you can do it, and it's probably easier than you think it is to dig yourself. The hardest bit's starting to do stuff. Like you probably are aware with like where you were in life before you started jiu-jitsu and training. It's just little steps. It's hard to get to start the steps, but once the momentum and the ball's rolling, you know, you're feeling good and it becomes easier and easier. It's easier to fall back into the hole than it is to get out of it. So that's where people struggle, I think.
100%. That's, more or less where I'm at now. Like, it's nothing bad, but obviously after the change of gym and change of lifestyle, I got very comfortable not training. So and then
got a girlfriend,
yeah, relationship belly.
Yeah.
But the ball's still moving, and then I just got to find, where that is, start pushing it again.
Oh, you're moving.
Well, yeah.
You're on the right path here.
Yeah.
Like, and you didn't fall off. It's just you just needed a reset because you just kind of took a bit of it.
Yeah, definitely burnt out.
Yeah, and you've been going pretty hard for a very long time, and that's like I've done the same thing, and you definitely need to find that happy medium in balance of life as well. But you can always get something in to make yourself feel better, like go for a little run or whatever. Speaking of running, so yeah, go. You have it. I've been smashing it. Talk through, because you started probably running more and training outside the gym more when we started hanging out.
Yeah, well, my first real run was with you.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, just the one around here.
Yep, around the back.
Yeah.
6Ks.
Yeah, and then honestly, it wasn't long after that when we started doing big runs.
Yeah.
Like the Run Walk Talk was a couple months after that.
Yeah.
Was that the first one? No, we didn't do that because that was cancelled through COVID.
That's right.
Yeah, but you and Cougar did a run.
We did I think we did 30K.
Yep.
From Southport to Debo.
Yeah, I didn't. I was working. I was on the recruit course at the time you guys were doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was only back every couple of weekends to do runs with you, and then that's when Cougar was training for the 100.
Yeah.
That one you just did around here, and then you did this 70.
70, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I started running with you, and then we did some trail runs too, and then I was loving it. And you guys would always talk about how you did the Run Walk Talk the year before, I believe. Yeah, and then I'm competitive. You guys were doing it. I was like, now I need to do something. Yeah,
for sure. But do you think that that's because you saw how much fitter you could get from that as well? Was that something that went into it?
Yep, definitely fitness was a part of it, but like it started becoming a thing. Like I wanted to do stuff that other people don't do. You know,
that's kind of why we do it.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
Yeah,
like the fitness side of it was cool. Like, oh yeah, I can run for a very long time before I get really tired or whatever. Before I need to stop. But yeah, it was just that I want to be able to do stuff that people say that people can't do, or people haven't done anyway. Everyone can do it, but they haven't done it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can talk about it. Yeah. And the way we were training too is it was kind of a mental thing where you still have to make all the normal training sessions that you do. The running's extra. And then we started doing a lot of gym as well at that time.
Yeah, that's by far the fittest I've ever been.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't gas out in rolls.
Yeah, especially when we trained for the 100, we were ramping that a bit because you started running a lot more and not missing any training sessions.
Yeah,
I wasn't. That was definitely one of the fittest I've been as well. And then, so fast forward, you've done a few ultras then, so you did the 70, and then that's about 3 years in a row of running a lot.
Yep,
been pretty fit and into it in those few years. And then last year was the year you did the Kokoda?
Yeah.
Talk us through that.
Man, the Kokoda was from start to finish, like, the stuff. It wasn't even about the run. Yeah, you get up.
It's all mud.
The Kokoda was really cool because it was like an opportunity to learn about, obviously, what the Kokoda was about like the, it weren't Anzacs necessarily, I don't think.
Is it Gallipoli?
No, it was
sorry, Kokoda was
Papua New Guinea.
Yeah. Sorry.
It was only last year, and I've already half forgotten. But I'm pretty sure it was the Japanese started attacking, so they went from the north of the island I know they had to go like help the north, so they went from the south of the island, went all the way through the Dakota track to get to the place where they needed to help their troops. So it was cool, interesting learning about that and like the hardship they went through to get the job done.
Yep.
And then like raising funds, being a part of the community to raise enough money to donate to the cause to compete.
Yeah, it's a cool thing that they do. Like the entry is a donation to the charity.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
We ended up raising 2,600. Yeah, because the minimum was 2,000. We ended up getting just a little bit more. And yeah, just like being a part of the community, we had like a fundraiser, and all that was amazing. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, I was training, running a lot. I probably didn't run as much. It was different running because it was all hills. Like I barely did any flat running leading up to the Dakota because obviously doing
kind of got to be all hills because that's what the track is.
Yeah, so it was like I didn't run as far, but I was running a lot on the hills. Every other day, getting through it. The coolest part about training, I think, is going to different places. Like when we went to Bitterborough, run through, like you get to see so much of nature and all these different places.
Yeah, it forces you to make to organise different spots and to travel around to different spots to train at because you kind of need to get the training in.
Yeah, we need to find some big hills to do, and and that was all good, man. I just trained a lot, just ran a lot, got ready for it. Ran with so it was a group of 4. So it was cool getting together once a week, doing a big run together, and then throughout the rest of the week just doing individual runs.
Bit of camaraderie.
And then I got to the day. Of course, that run's only is that the Kokoda's 96k. So we just did a little cheeky 4 beforehand to round up to 100.
Yeah, I can see how you need to do that.
Yeah.
I would have to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
You couldn't finish at 96k. It'd be such a mindfuck.
Yeah, man. Funny story actually. When we got to the finish line of Kokoda, my watch, just the watch, said 99k.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I was done at that point. And then Cougar's like, no, takes the watch off me because his was dead. He just grabs the watch off me and just started doing circles in the car. And I was like, no, I can't. I know I did 100.
Yeah.
I'm not proving it right now. I'm dead.
So, do you reckon that was the hardest run you've ever done?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long did that end up taking?
22 hours.
It's crazy how much longer running trails and hills takes than just running the flat. Because that flat one only took us 13 and a half.
Yeah.
14 hours.
Yeah, man. Like Kokoda, obviously we walked a lot of it. Especially
we walking uphill.
Walking up all the hills. Yeah. Those hills were way steeper.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Even prepared for.
Yeah, I've ran out there a few times. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Especially getting to because they said there's like the 5 major hills. That's what they warn you about. All the dragon at the bottom. They warn you of the 5 major hills. Obviously, there's more, but I remember getting to like the last major hill, and it was like, I don't know, it must have been like midnight, 1 in the morning, super tired, and I was just looking up at this thing, just going, no, this is too much. But then, like I was talking about the vets, I was like, man, they had to do this, packs on their back, getting shot at as like landmines they're trying to dodge.
Were you thinking about that the whole time? I would have been. It would have been heavily on my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't got that bad.
Yeah.
Like,
I've got a water pack.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I was thinking about the whole time. I was like, man, they were going through it tenfold of what I'm going through. So I can keep going. Yep. I'm just doing this for fun. So yeah, that was on my mind the whole time, and that was motivating us, man. That was like the best motivation you can get. Yeah.
And do you think you felt more fulfilled once you finished because you finished in that group, and you all had to get each other at a certain point in time? Everyone had
Yeah.
You know, little mini meltdowns. That's a certain little time that everyone took their turn.
Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, we all supported each other, kept pushing through, and then, especially at the end, like when we saw the finish line, because obviously you're running in a different points the whole time, but at the end you're kind of running through a line because it's dark. You just got your head torch, so you don't want to be like all too close to each other. We saw the checkpoint at the end, all came together as a group and crossed the finish line all side by side. That was a cool moment.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, we did this as a team. We trained together, we prepared together. Now we completed as a team.
Yeah, I think they do the good coda for that reason, where you can't be an individual because of you know, the veterans who did, like, they weren't individuals, they were doing it in a group and in a team, and the same thing would have been happening in that team.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's why they do it that way.
Yeah.
You can't just like go off by yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
It has to be, you have to.
We get disqualified if you cross the line and you don't have a teammate with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's DNF.
Yeah.
And you can finish with 3, but hey.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, if someone gets injured, they can't finish. Yeah.
But you have to start with 4. Yeah, that's cool. It's a cool experience. Yeah, I've never done it, but it'd be something that'd be cool to do down the track.
Man, I'd like to do it again for sure. It was like my goal in that was to complete under 20 hours, and then we weren't able to. So it's like straight away, I was like, yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about the this fully changing subject? 80cc versus Craig Jones Invitational.
It's awesome, man.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing. At the start,
I've been watching everything on
me too, man.
in golf.
Refreshing the page, see what he's posted.
Yeah.
I think it's an incredible thing, man. Like 80cc is such a cool event. They've done so well. So interesting. Like I loved watching the last one. It's 2022, right?
Yeah, Bomb Gordon and Gabal.
Yeah. That was like the coolest thing ever watching that. But then like now listening to Craig talk about it and these other people too, talking about like just how hard it is. Like the one today, I can't remember the guy's name, Patrick Galdia. Don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I can't. I'll butcher his last name.
But he was just saying he won 80cc whenever that was, and he won it, got the gold medal, and then like a couple of weeks later he was doing delivery, like Uber Eats, whatever.
Yeah.
Just to pay rent, and he's a
80cc champion. I know, and
crazy.
What Craig, his biggest thing is, and I think that he's doing good for the athletes as well. Like it's a good thing for the athletes to band together and make a stand. I really hope that it goes for more than 1 year. Like if they can carry it on, then it'll be a good thing. And also, I think 80cc is the best comp, and that should stay. Like it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like it's the prestige of it is crazy. I just think the organisers have been fuckwits at the moment.
Yeah.
Because Craig was saying, he's like, if they double the prize money to 20 grand, he's like, I wouldn't have done this. But they didn't budge. They didn't do anything. And it's been 10 grand prize money, which is fucking crazy. 10 grand prize money is nothing.
Yeah, they're probably spending that on like hotels and flights.
Yeah, that's probably their expenses. That probably covers their expenses. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man, he's nailed it. I hope they do it every year, but not on the 80cc day.
Yeah.
This is a perfect one to do it in direct competition.
Yeah, just to make a stand
and then hopefully they get that message across, and then
I can't wait to watch it, especially because it's free on YouTube. That's the best play they made the whole time. Yeah, being free on YouTube, it's like perfect.
Yeah, well, pretty much didn't watch 80cc the year before because it was
you have to pay for it on Flow.
Yeah, but it's not even like you buy a month of Netflix and then you cancel your membership and you got that month. Like Flow Grappling,
you've got to buy the year.
Yeah. Forking that out for 1 day.
Nah, I don't know what's going on with my Flow account, but it hasn't stopped. Like I stopped my subscription 2 years ago, and I can still watch Flow stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You haven't paid for it?
No, not once. I've checked. Oh,
that's wrong.
Yeah, so I'm just going to.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Keeps rolling.
Yeah.
So I can watch 80cc again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I definitely think it's a good thing. It's funny, hey, how he's saying the only people that aren't going over is the Danaher's squad, the new
Yeah.
wave.
Yeah.
It was like the only people that haven't reached out. Everyone else has reached out at least. Like even if it's not coming over, they've reached out. And the only ones that haven't said shit is new wave.
Yeah,
Because I
man.
think Mo Jassim he trains at new wave as well.
Does he?
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm
know
pretty
he-
sure like him and Gordon are like
Yeah.
probably
that's
fucking hell.
Probably.
They're honestly, have you heard Mo talk?
No.
They talk like the same person, like the way they speak and shit.
Really?
That sort of arrogance they
Yeah.
speak with. It's like I love Gordon. Like what he does for sport, and I'll watch all this shit because he's weapon.
Yeah.
But he's weirdo.
Yeah.
And
Weird
the way he talks is weird, and it's just I don't know him, but that's just what comes across. Mo talks the exact same way.
Yeah,
like
right.
with the same sort of demeanor and arrogance about him. I'm like, oh, these guys are like the same person.
That's weird. Yeah, I've never seen him talk.
Yeah, because he does those. He's been doing like weird live chats.
Yeah, I saw a snippet of it.
Yeah, like that sort of shit.
Yeah.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, there's probably a lot that goes into it. It's probably hard to deal with the guys in Abu Dhabi as well. But like, surely you can ramp up the money a bit.
100%. Like the whole venue thing was the best argument.
Yeah.
Should have just kept it in the same place and then just paid the athletes more. Yeah. That should have been, because they said it's going to cost $2 million to hire the new arena they're in.
Yeah, the T-Mobile arena.
T-Mobile, yeah.
Because they're in another one that was like it's just down the road.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. Some Max. Anyway, that was the arena they were in 2 years ago.
That was great.
Yeah, well, I think obviously Mo's thing is he wants to make it more of a spectator sport and like facilitate the fans and the audience and grow the sport in that way. That's what
makes sense.
Makes sense, but it's also Craig's argument is that I understand, but you should give a little bit of extra something to the
100%.
athletes because they're the sport.
Like Craig said, I think it was Craig. He said the guy selling the hot dogs is making more than the athletes.
Well, he's making more than someone who loses on the first day.
Yeah.
He doesn't get nothing.
It's nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
it's fucking unreal.
Yeah, man. He's definitely doing the right thing. He's nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think the secret donor is? You got any suspicions?
I don't know. I thought Ariel Hawani had a pretty good guess. He guessed Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I could guess for days. But
yeah.
You're never going to know.
I'd put my money on Zuckerberg or Dana White.
Yeah, it might be Dana.
Yeah.
I mean, they got that UFC fight pass going pretty. That's the best thing to watch.
It's awesome.
Yeah. At the moment, the UFC fight pass. Because
brilliant.
I have UFC fight pass because I'm a fanatic. But that's honestly, it's the best event.
Yeah.
Like for sure, it's the best event.
Good rule set.
Yeah. It is a good rule set. Yeah, that's all I got for you. What are you So you train at Rhythm now?
Yep. You're working at the airport. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's an interesting job.
It's a baggy.
Yep. And
anything coming up? Anything you want? Are you going to compete this year?
Going to compete.
Yep.
Definitely. There was one in July, but we'll see how I go for that one. But definitely going to compete towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Build back up and get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait, man. Because I went to that Byron Bay comp. It was like a couple of weeks ago. I got in there. As soon as I walked in the arena, I was like, fuck, I'm missing this. I want to be on the mats.
Yeah, me fucking too.
Yeah, man. A bit longer for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the goal. Just get back on the grind.
Yeah, that's good.
Get back into training.
Get a good little groove now.
Yeah.
Good room. We've got a good room at the moment. Like, it's pretty high level guys.
It's really good, man. I'm really liking it.
How often are you getting in there a week?
2-3 times a week at the moment. Yeah, mostly because I totally could have trained on, for example, like Monday morning, but then I just went, I'm gonna sleep today, let my body rest, and then got to Wednesday and I'm like, all right, now I'm feeling good. I'll go train. It's weird. Like when I was obviously coaching, I was like super excited to go, and now just being a student, it's like I can get away with not going.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm like, nah, I can't get away with it because I'm not going to get better.
Yeah. Did you think when you were coaching, that was increasing your rate of improvement coaching.
Yeah, just focusing on the small details.
Yeah, you're forced to focus more on what's going on because you have to explain it to people.
Yeah,
that's a big thing, hey?
100%. Yeah, but even you'd know this now just watching. When you just watch people on the mats, you're like, oh, he should have put his foot there, or
it's so simple.
Yeah,
that's how it feels. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, so simple.
So simple. We just complicate it so much.
Yeah, especially in the heat of the moment, it's so hard to. You just get fog coming over you. Yeah, especially like something goes wrong.
Yeah, you're gonna end up in it.
Yeah,
but massively increased my skills so much just watching, just coaching, focusing on the small details, trying to explain it to people. Yeah,
I like it. How's I'll just probably end on this. Like, I feel pretty fucking good today, but it's like I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago. Oh, actually no, don't worry about what I was just about to say. I was watching an interview with Cade Rutola. He's like the, Demetrius Johnson, the Mighty Mouse. He's got like a podcast, and I listened to like a bit of his talk with Cade Rutola the other day, and he was talking about how he's like anti-steroids, and he's like a natural athlete, and him and his brother advocate for that sort of stuff. And he's sort of saying how they've pulled back on advocating for it because they're getting more bad comments on it, like saying like where people are all for the steroids. I'm just not going to touch it. But he was saying that he believes why they are able to do what they do without steroids, and that is that because they're massive on rest. He's like, we've always been like, we'll probably only train jiu-jitsu 3 or 4 times a week, him and his brother. Yeah, well. He's like, we're always like, if we're sore for a day, we'd like go for a surf or a skate or have a like recovery session. And he's like, we're only really training hard like 3 or 4 times a week. Yeah, well. And he's like, we really listen to our body. If we're injured, we'll take the time needed to recover. And he's like, I just think they're still pretty young, but yeah, like, because we've done that since an early age, because they've been doing jiu-jitsu since they can remember. Their first memories on the mat, right? I thought that was really interesting because I'm like, yeah, it makes fucking sense. I'm like, they don't do steroids and they don't do drugs, but a lot of people are doing the steroids and peptides and whatever the fuck they're doing because it enables them to train more. It's not for like, I guess it's an edgy competition because you train more, but that's the main reason, right? Is the recovery process. Yeah, it's like we're just long term. Like we've been doing jiu-jitsu our whole life, so we just they know the ins and outs. We know our body. So I'm saying, with you saying you're only going 3 times a week or whatever at the moment, it's like you always you're progressing for sure doing that. It's just you actually probably like long term. It's probably a bit better. Yeah, in a year span, you're probably training more than you would if you're flogging yourself and then have heaps of time off because you fuck. Because you get injured and yeah, definitely, man. I think my body feels good right now. Yeah. Besides being a bit out of shape, but all my injuries are more or less going away. Everything's feeling good. Yeah, sick, dude. But on the steroid thing too, I'm all for it now. I don't think not that I do it. Yeah. For me personally, it's like I got to actually eat healthy and train more before I jump to the steroids. Should just be a supplement on the end of that. Yeah. So I can't skip that part. But these pro athletes, man, like you need to recover, and it's easier when you're younger. But now, like I'm feeling it a little bit now. Now I'm 28, 29. As long as you do it responsibly, you don't need to look like Gordon Ryan when he was peak 80cc. That's too much. Big dose, isn't it? Yeah. Too much stress on your heart and your body. Yeah. But a bit especially if you like my goal in life's longevity. Yeah. Like that's what I'm aiming for. I don't want that shit flaring up my blood pressure. Jeez, man. You look at all those big bodybuilders having heart attacks. Yeah, 100%. That's terrifying. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, that was good, man. Yeah, I was going to say before, I did a podcast with Kurgo too, 2 weeks ago. And it's funny, like, doing this shit and fucking, trying to talk to people on camera. It's weird. But it's like, Kurgo's like my best mate, right? And we can talk for hours about shit. but we have our own weird language. You probably like we have a weird way of talking to each other.
Yeah,
we understand each other very well.
Yeah,
but we have this like weird. I think it was one of my worst ones I did.
Really?
I was editing it, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm talking like a spastic," because we just like we talked about some cool shit and it ended up being okay. But I was just like, "Fuck, man, like I need to like not do that."
Yeah. You're too comfortable.
Too comfortable. I need to slow the fuck down and talk slower. Like
that's hilarious.
That's why I really am enjoying it, because I'm learning so much. Like I don't think I'm very good at having the conversation. Like because I'm looking at people who are good at it, like every day. Like trying to take things from what they're doing, and it's the same with jiu-jitsu. Like jiu-jitsu teaches you how to learn things.
Yeah.
Right. So like because I'm editing it and I'm looking back at the conversation, every time I'm like, what are you doing? Like, get out of that cunt's way. Like, stop talking so fast.
Yeah.
And it's just funny. Like, I thought that was going to be one of the best ones. And at the end of it, for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling on top of things that day. And I was just like, it's fucking retarded. Like.
Well, there's definitely an art to interviewing, right? And then, but especially like if you're interviewing people that you know, like you said, like you have a certain way of talking to certain people that you know. Same thing as jiu-jitsu, right? Like you're rolling with people that you know their game, you know the way they move, whatever.
Exactly right.
And you roll with someone different, different story. Yeah. As soon as you start interviewing different people, like you said, some of those Strike Force guys will come on.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
I'm excited for that.
That'd be really cool.
Can't wait.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, man.
Because you think about it more too. And you're like, okay, don't be a dickhead.
Don't embarrass yourself.
Don't be yourself.
If your shirt's made up, don't be yourself.
Yeah, that's not what people want to see.
Yeah. Nah, it's brilliant, man. Good job.
Thanks, bro. I'll probably do a fucking 1,000 of these, but that's good.
Nice,
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Thank you.